view. They're sizzling hot topics, from how Bristol rocked and Jennifer hit a gray area on Dancing with the Stars, to whether there should be an age limit on trick-or-treating, and which candidate is coming under fire for ads critics are calling racist. Plus, Jane Seymour is telling you about her reunion with a beloved Dr. Quinn co-star, and why Johnny Cash is her son's guardian angel. And Tracy Anderson, the fitness expert who turned A-list beauties like Gwyneth Paltrow, Giselle, and Kate Hudson into works of art, is letting you in on secrets to getting a better body than you've ever dreamed of. Then, a week before Election Day, Fox Newsman Shepard Smith has a roundup of the midterm election mudslinging and nasty campaigning. All that, hot topics and more, coming up live on The View.
Off today. Our thanks to Saturday Night Live for keeping us in the loop. Yeah, you know, they got us down to a T. But as Joy would say, who cares?
So what? Who cares? Listen, what's with your new do here?
Well, you know, Janet asked me if I was going to cut my hair, and I said no.
Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. She was here yesterday, but I told her I would do an homage to her today. This is my Janet Jackson. I'm doing this for you, girl.
You have bangs. She doesn't have bangs.
Well, she doesn't have bangs. I couldn't. You know, I wear. That's Janet's hair. I wear wigs, so you know. But it was just my little.
I'm going to wear pompadour and long hair as an homage to Snooki.
There you go. That would be funny.
Yeah,
we should do it.
Okay, so it's the day after Dancing with the Stars, and what is more important than that? Elizabeth and Cherry, you and I were reading Tolstoy while they were watching.
You know, the more important things in life.
They leave these things in that stick in your skin. You know these little things?
Yeah.
They're like bed bugs.
But we move on.
The price tag.
They are not bed bugs.
Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, so what happened
They
last
had
night?
rock and roll night, so everybody was wildly costumed and all coming out. And they changed the logo of the Dancing with the Stars on the judges' table. But I have to say, and I'm sure you'd agree, Bristol Palin finally came out as like a dancer. She looked really great. Check it out.
Performance and best technique up to date.
She did a good job.
She definitely.
They look like Barney and Friends.
But she stepped it up.
She
you know,
did.
she stepped it up, and she's really improving.
Good for her.
Yeah,
you know, in the beginning, some people thought that maybe she was ahead because the Tea Party folks were calling in to vote for her.
Yeah, maybe.
But, you know, she was a total amateur, and look what I give her great credit I have from the day.
You know, what scares me is that she will parlay this into a political career, you know what I mean? And then the Palins will rule the world.
The way things are going, who knows?
No, Levi Johnston, her boyfriend, what do you call him? The baby
mayor.
daddy wants to run for mayor in Wazilla. I mean, it's outrageous.
That is the outrageous part right there.
Well, and this is where Jennifer Grey, who's been doing fabulously every single week, she hit a little bit of a gray spot this time.
A Jennifer Grey
Jennifer
spot?
Grey, a gray spot.
Calm down a little bit, okay? You're way out of control. The dance was totally disjointed. You're all over the place. Leg came off the ground. I don't know what's happening. You're like the chosen one, and yet something is going terribly wrong, and you're going downhill.
It's not her fault. He's like Siegfried and Roy, this guy. He thinks she's a tiger. He's throwing her around.
But you know what? It's
his fault.
Well, also, there's two streams of thought here. She's been performing top notch, and it's a lot of pressure to top herself every week. And also, people are saying because she danced on Dirty Dancing, I think people were saying that the movie Dirty Dancing, and she was a dancer in that the audience may have been turning against her. So those comments by the judges are kind of, you know, let's break her down so the audience kind of feels for her.
It's interesting that she said the chosen one because it also reveals the fact that they do go in with some favorites to this or, you know, prefer.
So if we can break you down like that, then maybe the audience, you'll get back on the audience's good graces.
Analysis will continue as tonight. The elimination show.
So
airs.
We're old enough to remember Fred Astaire movies, and if you're not not that old. You can see him on TCM. Fred Astaire was the greatest dancer, American dancer in the world, I guess, of the particular style. He practiced so many times before he got it right. Hundreds and hundreds of takes, and then it was all on film. These people are doing this live. I have to give them credit for that.
Oh, wow, Joy, thank you. That's really nice.
I think they said that Kurt Warner was channeling Fred Astaire last week. You might have missed it, Barbara, but you would have loved his performance last week.
Do you mean that for Kate Gosselin, too? You remember last year because you got on her really hard last
She looked like she was avoiding landmines. That's a whole other level.
It's one step at a time.
Okay, speaking of the chosen one, you know, we have, another week before the elections, and they are getting more and more interesting, shall we say. Yeah. Now we have Christine O'Donnell, who has said that God is specifically praying for her.
Oh.
Well, why don't I show you a little bit of what she said in an interview.
Yeah.
God is the reason that I'm running. So I believe that prayer plays a direct role in this campaign, and I always ask people, please pray for the campaign, please pray for our staff, please pray specifically that the eyes of the voters be opened.
You know, a few years ago, when George W. Bush was president, and he was a very spiritual man and a man who talked a great deal about his beliefs, right. I did an interview with him, and I asked him if he ever prayed to win, and he said no. He said he prayed for guidance, he prayed for insight, but he didn't pray, you know, pray for me, pray for my staff, pray. So, do you think that God has the time now to worry about each one's
individual? Well, you know, God must be a fan of her opponent because he's way ahead of her in the polls. And so I think God is on the other guy's side.
I know, but she says, you know, it's funny. She says, God, you know, pray that the voters' eyes get open, and I am praying that God opens the voters' eyes too. So don't get mad when God opens their eyes and you ain't in office. Is what I say.
You know what? But I do think. I don't think you can necessarily tell someone how to pray, and I think that if you preface any prayer with, if it's your will, then, and this is my hope, I hope that happens. I think that's fine. I mean, it was just last month, and I think we kind of get on politicians for bringing God into politics, but it happens all the time. Last month, Obama was asked why he was a Christian, and he said it's because the precepts of Jesus Christ spoke to me in terms of the kind of life that I would want to leave, being my brother, sister, keeper, treating others as they would want to treat me. And I think he uses his Christian faith as a calling to do what he does in public service. And I think that's
he's not saying God told me to.
God is busy.
He has prayed for the BP oil. He gave prayer on the...
Wait a second. Shall I prevent another tsunami, or shall I get $10 million for the situation? Those are his choices.
God
shall I get Christine O'Donnell in office, or shall I take care of the cholera?
You're misunderstanding, I think, what God is about.
Program.
What do you mean by get with the program, though? What are you asking of God?
You don't pray for something as insignificant.
What do you pray for? What do you pray for?
Joy?
What is insignificant to one is not significant to another.
Peace in the world.
That's great. Obama prayed specifically with the BP oil spill. He prayed that the workers there would get miners out. You know that our president right this very minute is praying for our troops who are fighting for us. Specific prayer is powerful.
They have good policy about the troops than to pray.
Okay? Absolutely not.
As opposed to praying for somebody, instead of praying for somebody, my side to win. Like when I go to church, they pray for God, give everybody some wisdom, because we're all unified. So instead of saying pray for my staff, just pray for wisdom over everybody.
It doesn't come from out of space. It comes from reading and learning and understanding. Wisdom comes from living also.
Wait, I am praying for a chance to say God.
By the grace of God,
we exist. That's
right. Amen.
She has great faith. She said that her ratings went up after a prayer group prayed for her in the morning. So it's very direct, and I think that's what we're talking about. You know, are you asking for very direct ABC kind? I don't mean ABC Network. Kinds of things. Are you praying for guidance, for hope?
When you're praying, and I bring the, you know, being a Christian, bring the Bible in Jeremiah, I think 29:11. It says, "Without a vision, the people shall perish." So we do pray for specific things, and I think it's okay to pray for. You ask your parents for specific things.
Yeah, sometimes the answer is no, and I agree. Like sometimes what your plan is not God's plan.
Then God has said,
God, you know.
has
Sometimes
said,
you don't teach your children to pray for toys. You don't teach your children to pray for stupid things.
Absolutely. What do you say
Why
is
is
stupid?
what a child wants ever stupid in their mind? And I think if you are going to teach your child to pray first and foremost, then you can't say what you're teaching your child to pray for. What if they want a bicycle so that they can actually go visit their friend? What if you're not understanding why a kid would want something? I think that teaching the kid to pray may be a great way for them to remove a situation and pressure only on themselves.
Each of us prays for different things. Each of us teaches their children different ways. But now that I'm being so obnoxious, we'll be right back with more Hot Topics. Talk about Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, wow.
Instead, we're going to talk about Charlie Sheen. Okay? Just before we went on the air, the New York Post reported that Charlie Sheen was found half naked in a trashed hotel room in New York. He was taken to the hospital for unspecified reasons with his ex-wife, Denise Richards, who was staying in the room next door with the children. And then Life and Style reports an escort was in Sheen's room, oh dear, when the police arrived. Wow. Well, you know, he's in 2.5 Men. It's a successful show, isn't it? Yeah?
Yes.
And you know, no matter what, he continues in that show.
It's always been volatile between he and Denise.
But we don't know that that's what was going on.
I mean, but it's just speculation. But I know you're having Denise Richards on your show tonight.
Denise Richards is booked on my HLN show.
So she can kind of tell you what happened.
She'll show up.
Oh, what good timing.
Yeah.
But do you think we talk about this because we've talked in the past. We talked yesterday about Mel Gibson being booted off a film. Does your off-camera behavior in any way spill over into what you're doing?
Well, so many people have asked. You mentioned Lindsay Lohan, and oddly enough, she's going to make it back in the conversation right now because what people have said, should she be working, and somebody needs to reprimand her, and how could she still be, you know, getting jobs after all this trouble, even after rehab and paying dues, or maybe going back or not? And do the same standards apply to Charlie?
Charlie Sheen is one of the highest paid actors on primetime television. From 2.5 Men.
He's obviously very troubled, to say the least.
They really can't do the show without him, so that's why they keep putting him back on. And, you know, money talks.
Well,
whereas Lindsay doesn't have a gig, so.
Yeah.
But I hope his children
how talented
are okay.
that she is.
She's talented. She has potential for something. He's got the gig.
But, you know, just with the kid, you think everybody, the losers in this are always the children. And to be in the adjoining room and to hear that and to see that, that's very terrifying for them. So I hope that they're okay.
They both avoid jail time, Lindsay and Charlie, it seems.
It's amazing.
I mean, with everybody
in rehab. And remember, Robert Downey Jr., he had a drug problem. He went into jail, and he got better.
But it's interesting because in this job market,
if you put somebody who's addicted to drugs in jail, I think that's a problem.
But you can't also, I mean, people are getting fired for taking a day off because they have a cold. I mean, and then you have others who are breaking laws left and right, or maybe acting in a way that puts family in emotional danger, perhaps allegedly.
But he did commit a crime.
Okay,
you know, makes you think.
Moving along.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Shepard Smith with us in a few minutes, but beyond that, we were talking earlier about how tough, how personal, how difficult a lot of these races are. For example, Tea Party-backed candidate Sharon Angle is running against Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid in Nevada, and she's come under fire for campaign ads that critics are calling racist. Here's one of them. It has to do with illegal immigration.
I'm Sharon Angle, and I approve this message.
Waves of illegal aliens streaming across our border, joining violent gangs, forcing families to live in fear. And what's Harry Reid doing about it? Voting to give illegal aliens Social Security benefits, tax breaks, and college tuition. Voting against declaring English our national language twice. And even siding with Obama and the President of Mexico to block Arizona's tough new immigration law. Harry Reid, it's clear whose side he's on, and it's not yours.
Yikes, it's like a Hitler Youth commercial.
Well, people are saying that it's very racist because there are these adorable white children sitting in class. And every immigrant is a tough-looking, it's going to join a gang, it's going to do you harm.
You know, you specifically, once you put out a visual bell, it cannot be unrung. You specifically cast it to ignite fear. Now you've made Hispanics, it's like, oh, the white people are going to get pounced upon by the boogeyman. Because now you've made Hispanics the boogeyman.
That's what she's doing.
You did that on purpose. And then you get mad when you say, why aren't we coming far in race relations? We're trying to tell people not to judge people based on their skin color, but you specifically put out an ad like this.
Let me tell you how stupid she is. 25% of the voters in Nevada are Hispanic. 80% of them are Mexican. This is a moron on top of being evil.
I mean, it's not strategically, you're right, not the way to go.
Harry Reid is in trouble.
Harry Reid, on the other hand, is in trouble in Nevada because people are knee-jerking. Get the incumbent out. Hallelujah.
You're
ridiculous.
Joy, we're friends, right? This is no knee-jerk reaction. This has been a long 18 months for people who are chronically unemployed at this point and want change to happen. The hope and change banners are now being recycled.
You want them playing on stereotypes?
I never said that. No, I think that a political change is going to happen, and I think that these elections are becoming ugly because a referendum is going to be made. I don't think that ad is okay.
Referendum on Obama.
No, the elections will be.
This election, most elections are local. When you look at almost every election, it's local. What you are seeing in Nevada is not a referendum, not her ads on Obama. It has to do with the immigration law and the fear of illegal immigrants.
Everybody keeps saying, can I apologize to you? Because I didn't mean you when I said you. I just meant people. But and I love you too, booby. But what I'm saying is, you know, Whoopi would say this all the time. You're talking about brown people. Specifically say you're talking about Mexicans. And this is, you know, because you don't see absolutely. And this is what she's doing because you're not showing a bunch of Asian people being scared of Russians coming over.
And
you know what I'm saying?
To use the face of children in an ad, I mean, I think you need to claim a certain responsibility, and I don't know what sort of regulation there is.
In this ad.
No, I think it's
white people.
What I'm saying is, I think that from a Republican perspective here, I think the ad is way more than pushing the limit on what's right. I actually think it's wrong, and I think to use little kids in that ad to create fear is a wrong way to make the change that they're calling for.
Knee-jerk reaction, I'm talking about people who will vote for her based on fear of the incumbent.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And fear of immigration. A knee-jerk means you're not thinking, you're not reading, you're not listening, you're not watching.
Look, then you're assuming that the voter doesn't know voting record. Voters need to take responsibility too, and I think that they will. Look at his voting record. Look at her.
They're neck and neck at the polls, and you see an ad like this. You play on this stereotype.
Look how emotional you are all getting, and voters get emotional as well. Only Whoopi and I.
Yeah, how are you not so emotional?
I'd like to see her do this ad in the South Bronx. Come here, bitch. Come to New York and do it.
Well, and we're praying for you. Yeah. We're praying for you.
Even Joy is praying for you.
I'm not praying for her.
I'm praying for everybody. No,
She's
I'm praying for her. I'm praying that her heart gets changed. I'm praying that Sharon Angle's heart gets changed. She's not going to hell. Don't say she's going to hell. That's terrible.
Going to heaven and hell.
Oh my God. That's scary.
You assume a heaven.
You better get on her good side. You better get on her good side.
If she says this one more time, I'm going to walk off the set.
I am not a witch. I want to say one thing. I am not a witch.
But you're close. But you're close. You're close. Listen to me. Jane Seymour has written a book about angels and the angel within each of us.
And the devil.
We're going to pause. No, just angels. We're going to pause and come back with Jane Seymour.
Icon who moves seamlessly from movies like Wedding Crashers to reality competitions like Dancing with the Stars to your local bookstore is the author of her 5th book, Among Angels. Please welcome back an angel herself, Jane Seymour. Hi, Jane. How are you?
Jane, we can use a little angel. angel at this point.
I thought so, yes. I mean, this is a perfect topic, isn't it?
Sitting with little devils, are you, right now?
Devils.
So how did you believe in prayer? Because I was reading that you have 3 ex-husbands, and when you were married to your first husband, I love this, you went to a psychic who predicted you'd be married 3 more times. Did you believe her at the time?
Actually, it was 3 total, and I made it to 4, but I got it right now. No, you know what? I believe, we were talking about prayer and about angels, about the whole thing. I am not personally specific to any particular religion. And I think what's really great about Among Angels is that really what I'm talking about is that when your heart is open, you can receive the benefit of angels, and you can find the angel within you. So, the angel may be someone you know.
Joy?
Yes, it could be you, Joy. And the interesting thing is that you could be an angel to someone without even realizing it.
Yes,
and that's kind of the point.
Hello.
Yes, she has a little angel.
Every day.
You just got to, bless her.
I want to ask you too, one quick question about Dancing with the Stars. Do you think it's gotten more intense? I mean, I forget how long has it been since you were there?
I was with Marie Osmond and Helio and Mel B.
Do you watch it now?
Of course I do. Although I just finished a movie. I was in Virginia working nights on there, so I couldn't really watch it. I've watched little snippets, but I was watching Jennifer Grey there, slip there, and if anyone had spun me like that, trust me, I'd have been flying into the judges' table.
Incredible, the physical feat.
You have no idea. It's so hard.
It looks hard.
It's really hard, and especially on those high heels.
I can only imagine with the straps on them and all. You just mentioned Virginia. Is that the film that you just reunited with Joe Lando?
No, actually, that's another film I did. I just did 3 in a row. Yeah, yes. I'm really excited. No, the one I did with Joe Lando is called At Home with Prudence. And
this is your co-star from Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
And we kind of reunited because he plays my ex-lover. And
so we'll get to see this.
We actually got to kiss
reunion.
Again.
Oh,
wow. And we actually got to hang out and play for a while. And then my daughter, Katie Flynn, played my real daughter in the movie, which was fantastic. She was great. And then my real husband ended up playing the guy Mr. Keach. Yeah. He ended up acting, and so he was playing the guy who buys the network. So
this is fair.
You guys have you and your husband have a combined total of 6 children.
Yes.
And you get along famously with all of your exes. Please tell me this, because I'm an ex. Give me some advice. How do you do that? How do you get along really well?
Sleep with them?
Open your heart. You know what? I really honestly do believe that what you do to get to
one way to get along with them.
I would like the practical from Jane without me having to warm myself up.
I think the practical is totally my philosophy of the open heart, which is that basically you open your heart. What happened yesterday is done. Okay? That's done. Whether it's your fault, their fault.
The same way?
Absolutely. I'm very friendly with them, actually. You could bring them all on and we could discuss it. But we're in the present moment and we reach out to help one another. And actually, the only thing that matters at the end of the day are the kids.
What if your heart's broken, though? How are you supposed to open that to somebody?
If you have a broken heart and you close it off, trust me, it will not only break, stay broken, it will kill you.
Yes.
It will absolutely wind you up
as soon
forever.
as you find the next one, you're sort of over it anyway?
No.
I know, I don't think so. I think it takes a long time to process
I do too.
Yeah.
When we're talking about prayer and angels and so forth, you have your youngest children are 14-year-old twin boys.
Yes.
One named after Christopher Reeve and Johnny named after Johnny
Cash.
And he's very musical. And you have said that you feel that Johnny Cash, the departed Johnny Cash, is being channeled through your son.
Well, I absolutely do, because randomly we had these 2 tiny little babies, and we called one Chris and one Johnny. Well, they both took music, but Johnny when he met Johnny Cash, and on many occasions, he was just obsessed with Johnny and listening to the music, and we have a lot of video on that, believe it or not, because we did Walk the Line.
But do you think that Johnny Cash from the Beyond is...
Well, something extraordinary is happening to this kid, because he is writing the most amazing music. He's being recorded already, and you're going to hear about him by next year.
Maybe, like Elizabeth said, he's his angel.
Absolutely. I mean, I really do believe that. In fact, Johnny and June blessed them. And it was the most beautiful thing, and I do. I feel that angels are amongst us, and I do feel that people do bless you. And I mean, my mother manifests herself.
Wings, angels, real angels.
My mother passed away when I did Dancing with the Stars, and she left a single white feather where we all used to stand and look at her and visit her in the nursing home. And at that same moment when she died, one single white feather landed under a portrait of her in my mother's home. Last week, I was talking to my sister who's just been through some terrible health issues, And after we talked, I talked her off the edge of being really upset, and she talked about the gutters being a problem. She went outside, looked, and the gutter was one single white feather.
Wow.
My mother manifests herself in feathers. Other people tell me about
hen house in the area?
What?
Is there a
hen houses? No, no feathers, no nothing.
Why not err on the side of belief, I say, Jane?
Thank you
so much. And by the way,
you know what? You know how you have something inside of you that when you see a circumstance, you know you can help someone, and you just go, you can either do it or you don't.
Well, we all believe in that, I think.
Okay, that is what I'm talking about. And so in this book, I talk about every faith and quotes and stories, and
very nice.
You are all going home with the book today in our audience. Our thanks to Jane Seymour. We'll be right back with Secrets from Trainer to the Stars, Tracy Anderson.
I have a great trainer called Tracy Anderson, and I work out with her, one of her trainers, like...
Religiously, huh?
Yeah, like 6 days a week, an hour and a half.
Wow, Gwyneth Paltrow isn't the only one who loves Tracy Anderson. Courtney Cox, Gisele Bundchen, and Shakira can thank her for their beautiful bodies. So here to show me some of her secrets today, please welcome the author of Tracy Anderson's 30-Day Method, Tracy Anderson. Since I have a feeling I'm going to be a misery, I want some company, I asked Suzanne Leopold from our audience to do it with me. All right. I have a feeling we are in for some pain. All right. Tracy, now people have come to you and you've developed something called the method. What is the method?
Well, I gained 40 pounds at school for dance, and I gained 60 pounds pregnant with my son. And I've spent over a decade...
You gained 60 pounds? Where did you put 60 pounds?
I gained 60 pounds with my son. My father is built like Danny DeVito. My mom was a dancer, but genetically at 19, I just didn't have it. So I've spent over a decade creating a method that actually empowers women to make a personal transformation through movement. But it's much more difficult than you think.
Now, what is it? Is it a lot of cardio involved?
No, I mean, there is cardio involved, but the key is we have so many muscles in our body that we don't use. And the small muscles, to get to them and to keep them active is really key to transforming ourselves and also to fight aging, get the skin back to the muscle. All of the things that we think that we can't do through movement.
Okay, well...
But it takes a lot of discipline. It also takes cardio.
Okay, so cardio.
Can
you show us some of the stuff we can do at home?
Yes. I'm going to show you some things that are in my new book.
Suzanne, I'm a little scared. I'm going to tell you. Okay, shoot.
So, down on all fours. Basically, we want to design the muscles through our movement how we want our bodies to look. So, you know, if you want Gisele's butt, I don't suggest that you know, run every day. So basically, this is just a simple knee pull. Look at you, you're doing this. Wait, knee up, knee up.
Oh.
You got to let the force of the, you've got to let me get the force of the movement where I want it to go so that I can actually design your butt.
My legs are so long, this is hard.
No, stretch it out.
How many do you have to do?
Yeah, well, we're going to do 10, but you do 40 at home.
40?
Yeah. Look, you're doing it though now. Good job. So then after the first like Suzanne, 10 days, I might put this in your sequence. Good, but now I want you to use more of the muscles in your body.
All right.
Like when you're a child and you're climbing trees and everything, your brain's just naturally connecting. So get on this chair.
Get on the chair.
Yeah, and we're gonna put one hand on the ground. And I'm gonna get to that.
I better get it, girl.
Come on. Now kick it up.
I can hear you.
Kick up higher.
Suzanne, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good job.
Tracy? Tracy? If I don't get a man from this damn exercise.
But your body has no choice but to work. Now hop down. Now I'm gonna use the chair.
This is worse than Kegels. Okay.
I'm gonna use the chair to push your range of motion. So you're just gonna use the chair to kick your leg up and over it. It's really
yeah. You're kidding me.
Wait, I'm gonna come and help you. This is important for you. This is gonna unlock so many things.
Paltrow does this. Shakira does this.
Look, Gwyneth does it 6 days a week.
Oh, shoot. Oh.
Let's do some arms.
You are gracious. Okay.
Do you want to do some arms?
Let's do some arms.
How about some arms? So you're not even going to use weights. You're just going to use your own body. So just reach for something. Reach. Now reach twice on this side. Reach up off you. Can you kneel
What's all
up
this
off
stuff shaking under my arm?
I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of it. Good job. Now open up like this. Just open up like this, but bend your arms how you want the lines to actually
Now, Tracy, do you have to eat differently? What do your clients eat?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I love to eat, and that's why the cardio is important. But in the beginning, you're gonna have to follow some nutritional guidelines at the beginning until you become good at the cardio and until you let me design your muscular structure.
Okay, you're doing great, Suzanne. How you feel?
Tough, it's tough.
6 days a week, though. If you do it
6 days a week. What is wrong with you?
I like to eat.
Joy told me that you shouldn't be exercising for more than half an hour. That's what Joy said.
Well, let me talk to Joy, because I disagree with that.
What are these muscles that we're working?
Well, basically, we don't want to just go after.
Wow, I think already. What are we doing? What muscles are we working?
You're doing it. Well, basically, like if you just do bicep curls, you're just empowering the bicep. We don't want that. We want to get to all of the little muscles that will keep the skin tight to the muscle.
Okay.
Okay. And the more you build your muscle, we don't want to. And if there's fat in between the muscle and the skin, that once we lose that, it takes a while for the connective tissue to coil back.
Can I stop while you're talking? Because this hurts.
No. I'm trying to teach you.
No weights at all, Tracy. No weights.
Well, I use weights sometimes, but in a different kind of way. Only 3 pounds.
Oh, well, thank you so much to Tracy Anderson. Members of our audience are all going home with a copy of Tracy's book. We'll be right back with Fox News anchor Shepard Smith. Oh, my God.
Elections are a week away, so right now, the anchor of Fox News Studio B and the Fox Report is giving us a roundup of the questions everyone in America is asking. Will Republicans retake the House? Will Democrats control the Senate? Will I walk out on another Fox News personality? Please welcome Shepard Smith.
There's a door right there. I locked it. You're staying today.
You can answer the questions or do those exercises.
Anything but those exercises. I need an ambulance on standby.
You know, Shepard, we showed you that ad that Sharon Angle is running in Nevada.
What did you say about her again? You called her the B word and said she was going to hell?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, what, are you dying to get on the blogs again?
The bloggers love me, I know. But no, seriously, I think she's evil to do that. That's my opinion. That's what we do here.
It's not much, it's an interesting contest. They have so many incredible problems in that state, the highest unemployment in the nation and enormous housing problems, and everybody's angry.
So why pick a scapegoat?
Well, I think what they're looking for is some sort of change. Nobody wants to believe that this reality is something we're going to be stuck with for a long time, and they just want anything different, and they're mad about it, and they want it different, and they want to be listened to.
She's the best they could come up with.
They're not picking national issues. If they're angry at Obama, they're not picking that kind of an issue. They're picking on something.
But they're feeling it locally.
So whatever it is, strike. Whatever it is, hit out. But that's why it's so nasty.
It seems to be to me.
What about the Juan Williams debacle that just took place? What do you make of that? He's now working at Fox.
He always worked for us. We've been friends for a long time. We do a segment on my 3 o'clock program, Studio B, called Wednesdays with Juan, and I really like the guy. But, my side of it is journalism. I just signed a new, in fact, yesterday, I signed a new 3-year deal with them.
Congratulations.
Congrats. To sign up for another 3 years as their lead news anchor. And I'm really proud of the journalism that comes out of our place. We've never had a big mistake, and I don't know that Juan Williams has ever had a big mistake either. He was a mighty well-respected correspondent for the Washington Post and others.
And I know a lot of people have a great respect for your show as well. You do an excellent job. Do you think this sort of feeling, this local anger that maybe will become something nationally in terms of a movement, do you think it's founded in the loss of jobs, state of the economy? And we're having candidates act wild. It seems as though many of them have lost their minds. One's not a witch. One says she's better because she's a mom. Feigning military service.
The rent is too damn high.
Yeah, they're angry.
I want that guy.
I know.
Has there ever been a...
That guy doesn't pay rent.
He shouldn't have to. Did you look at it?
I mean, we've had nasty races in the past, but you're talking. So many of these things are not just nasty; they're kind of ridiculous. It's just new.
I don't think it's new. I think the echo chamber is louder, don't you?
Sure.
I think there's so many more of us doing it, and there's so many doing it without maybe the sort of ethical standards that we all try to live by.
Okay. Can I ask a question about Obama? Okay. We had in the last election, we had a lot of people who didn't want George W. Bush to campaign for them, the Republicans. And now President Obama and Michelle Obama are out there on the stump. And then we have a candidate for governor, Frank Caprio, who Obama did not endorse, and he just said to Obama, you know, take it and shove it. Is Obama helping or hurting?
Well, I think it depends on who the target audience is. They'd very much like to get African-American voters and minorities out. They'd very much like to get women out. It seems the First Lady has a really good pull with women. If you can get the base organized and get the base energized and get them to the polls, then they'll do better. The question is, will that enthusiasm gap remain? And I don't think we can know that until we see what happens that day.
Do you think in that race specifically around
Rhode Island?
It is Rhode Island, my home state. Do you think that in trying to align Chafee with Obama, that he's sort of hedging his bets, that if people do want change, then maybe if they see those two names together, they'll vote for him?
It's entirely possible. The ugliness of it all has struck me.
Okay.
Everyone says, you know, I don't want to see negative ads. Well, you also say you're not going to slow down at the traffic accident on the 405 freeway in Los Angeles, but you're going to do it. And negative campaigning works. We don't like it, but it works.
But racist ads are different from negative campaigning.
Well, it depends on who the target audience is and whether that racism that you mentioned is really a matter of fact or is something that's subjective.
I don't think racist opinions.
I don't get to do opinions. I wish it weren't so ugly.
Who doesn't give opinions?
Well, let's move on. Well, Shepard, let's move on to Delaware. We got the Republican Tea Party candidate, Christine O'Donnell. We got the Democratic Chris Coons. Now, O'Donnell was ahead by leaps and bounds, but now she's trailing behind in double digits. So what do you make of this race? Bill Maher. Well, you know, it's not really a race anymore. We're at 16, 18 points, I think, in the RealClearPolitics.com tracking poll, and it's
that's just fun to watch.
It appears to be
over.
over.
Can you even
but
say what you make of Christine O'Donnell, or
well, I don't know. I've heard
in a journalistic fashion.
She's good TV.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us how you think it's going to end up, the House and the Senate.
Well, you know, the analysts tell me the same thing they tell you, and that is that the Republicans are probably going to win the House and that the Democrats are probably going to hold on to the Senate. But there's also this 7-11 theory that some of the analysts are knocking around, that maybe they'll win 7, and that's kind of what you expect. But if the Democrats really don't get their base out, and really at the last minute, people on the far left are disenfranchised, people in the moderates are angry, and they don't come out, could they win 11? Could they win 11 and take the Senate? I don't know, but I think you should watch Fox all that night. So
What do you think about
those of us who are watching ABC News?
Or HL like me?
You just signed a 3-year contract.
I did indeed.
Listen, what about Sarah Palin? Tell me she's not going to run for president, or could that happen by default?
Well, on the Fox Broadcast Network, next Tuesday, I'll be interviewing her, and I'll ask her that very question. You know, it's been fascinating.
You're interviewing her next week?
Tuesday night.
Just before.
Election night.
Are you going to ask her any gotcha questions? You know how that makes her hair stand up.
I know how you love them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I figure I'd like to know a lot of things about her, but I haven't had access to her. It's very difficult to get her.
No one has, really.
It's very difficult. I saw her on Hannity a couple of times.
What are you going to ask her?
I'll ask her if she's going to run for president. I'll ask her.
She won't tell you.
What do you think, though?
Well, I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know if they know, but I would like to. I'm very interested to see how her candidates do that night, and how the power lines.
Shepard, who are her major
Well,
candidates?
I mean, the Tea Party.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a woman who quit her job to, she said, go try to help other Republican candidates across the country. And that's exactly what she told us on that very weird day. And as it turns out, that's exactly what she's done.
Very
well, she's
interesting
also
to
making
see.
millions of dollars while she's doing it.
She didn't say she was going to do it.
But it is
Many
very interesting to see how many
of money right now.
It is very interesting to see how many of your candidates make it. It will make a big difference. Yeah.
We want to thank
We're going to watch that.
Thank you for stopping by. Shepard will be catching you on election night. Be sure to see him anchoring. You want to check your local listings for times. We'll be right back.
An interesting day. So have a good day yourself. Take a little time to enjoy the view. Okay.